Manas ang sign ng ano yan.
Participants.
Ano pala ang ano?
Tingnan dyan sila.
Problema na siya sa
Hi. Who's the
Hello.
other Zoom user? Debbie, who's with you?
Marjorie.
Marge. Oh, okay. And who else? Just the two of you?
Yeah, here in Vista. I think Mariela is in 81st with Eduardo.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Marge is your cousin, right, Deb?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's just wait for the rest to join.
Okay.
Okay, Oceana's joining. I have Vanji, Pressy, Zaira, and Emily here at Colt.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question for Marge. Did she start the dementia training, memory care?
Yes.
Yeah, hi sir. I started already. I'm in the module 6.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. And then there's a in-person class for that, right?
Marielle, what's that again?
In-person class for the memory care training.
Oh, have you finished everything?
No, not yet.
She's not done yet with all of it.
Okay.
After that, yeah, she will go there.
All right.
I think later I'll show you,
Mhm.
get the date where you can do the in-person.
Yeah.
Do you have Debbie, do you have the instructions for that? Because I may need to have Arturo
Yeah, I
with the
do.
memory care training and okay. All right.
But I don't know if he's gonna understand it though.
We can try.
That's the
We can try.
problem.
Yeah. Or probably
Mariela can sit down with him maybe.
yeah, Mariela can probably sit down with him. All right, let's give it a few more minutes. Probably 2 more minutes, then we can start.
What do you have on there, sir?
Debbie, Marjorie, Oceana, Ashley, Abel.
Actually,
Abel?
you said Oceana.
Oceana, I think. Who else? Who else is here? Who's Benjo, Arturo, are you guys there? Radio. We'll check it later, Carlin, okay? Not sure what this is, probably Marjorie.
Is anybody with Debbie?
Debbie, are you just using a phone or both of you?
Just a phone.
Okay. Marjorie is using a different phone?
Yes.
Oh, okay. She's probably the one that's named Zoom user?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I-silence mo. I-mute. Silence mo. Tapos dito ka na lang para
No, that's fine. We're just getting the attendance.
Oh, okay.
Show. Eduardo, not yet there. me text Eduardo.
Sumahan sa ating paliwag siya. Kasi nakalit po naman siya.
Can probably start while the rest can just join later whenever. Anyway, we'll have this video recorded. And so for today's topic, we'll just go over some emergency preparedness. So it's just gonna be a impromptu, and I'd like each and every one of you to participate actively. How do I share my screen? This one. Oh,
Hey, Michael moved. He did. I mean, it's still within our company, but he moved for it. Okay. Maybe that.
give me 1 second.
Okay. He's on our. Oh, okay. Yeah, it just get on. He's been on for a while. We're actually thinking of discharging him because he's been kind of stable. So.
I think I got your text message.
Yes. Okay.
I was supposed to let you know that, yeah, he moved around.
No problem.
Yeah, he moved over to our visa location. I can read the address.
3 seconds already.
Just like lay my eyes on him and see how he's doing, and then go back to the here and then see how it goes. Okay, so Dave, thank you.
Anong chapter ka na?
She just, you know what, she just sent me that. She asked me today, just 5-10 minutes ago. Anyway, sorry about that. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you guys a question. So when we say it's an emergency, how would you describe it? When can you tell that it's a matter of emergency versus not? Need volunteer?
Is it an emergency like 911 or disaster emergency?
Yeah, like in general.
I would say that if it's like there's a power outage.
Okay, that's a great example. So if it's a power outage, let's say it just lasted for a few minutes.
So not an emergency if it's only a few minutes.
Okay, great. So that's a good example though. Let's say, for example, we had a power outage for, let's say, more than 30 minutes, and then some of our residents would require life support equipment like oxygen. Then we can say that it's an emergency, right? So if there's a power outage, what do you normally do? Like, what's your first step just in case there's a power outage?
Should be emergency lights.
Yeah, correct. Emergency light, that's one thing that we definitely need to consider. What about the temperature?
Yeah. If it's weather like this, it's okay. It's
Okay,
not so hot and not so cold, but if it's summer, then it's gonna be a problem for residents that have like difficulty breathing,
correct.
things like that.
Yep, that's correct. So definitely, if there's the temperature is extremely hot, that might lead to a heat stroke, right? For some of the residents, then we have to consider moving them out, right, or transferring them somewhere else if the power outage is expected to be longer. In most cases, we will get advisory from either SRP or local government that
Yeah.
there's gonna be an power outage for a certain period of time. But otherwise, if we didn't receive that, and let's say there's a lightning or typhoon that caused this outage, then more than likely we'll have to sort, yep, evacuating our residents
Yeah,
if needed.
maybe bring them to somewhere like in the other houses if they don't have power outage, like from Vista Mesa to Chandler, maybe we can bring them there
Correct.
or bring them to a restaurant.
That's a different story. So we can put that on our action plan. So if Christy would approve. Anyway, so that's a good example. Debbie, so let me go back. Why is this here? So yeah, so definitely emergency is something that is serious, unexpected, or a very dangerous situation that requires immediate action. So it can be life-threatening, or it can be a crime in progress, or let's say there's an active shooter. That's something that we can consider emergency situation. So these are some potential hazards that could affect, our group home. Of course, there's a fire, hurricane, tornado, sometimes dust storm if it's very extreme,
Yeah,
earthquake, tsunami, yeah, power outages, chemical spills, extreme heat, extreme cold, pandemic flu, and others. So what do we need to do if there's an emergency? So definitely it always depends on the actual situation. It can be a case-to-case basis, but in general, we always call 911, right, for help.
yeah,
And it's very important to be, calm, assess the situation, and sometimes you don't really need to evacuate, or, you just have to stay at home. So it's really important for you to be calm, because it's sometimes we will require to make decisions, especially very quickly if it's an emergency. So if you're in a panic mode, sometimes you can make it even worse. Um, So for group homes, these are some things that we need, to keep just in case an emergency will arise. So I know we're keeping this, right?
We
Yeah.
have like the non-perishable foods are usually in the sheds. We should always make sure we have like a case or two of water. We have first aid kits, medicines, obviously, and these go for the vans too. Like when we take residents on outings, not the non-perishable food, but we should always make sure, especially in the summer, that we have water in the vans, and a first aid kit, and then we
okay.
also are required to have their face sheet. So I just like put a binder together in ours with everybody's stuff in it, because if you're on an outing and there's an emergency and you got to send a resident to the hospital, it's just easy to have their face sheet right there and their med list, so you can send them
Right.
from there. But yeah, definitely in the houses.
Yeah. So like We'll definitely discuss specifically for our, since we're in a group home or assisted living, it's really important to, these are some important things that we need to know. So during admission, of course, everyone is expected for us to know our residents, what's their baseline, what's their underlying conditions, what medications they take, because we can tell if it's any medical, if there's a medical emergency, if there's a sudden change on their baseline, if they're not feeling good. So we can always have a comparison. Can you tell me some example about your residents that you experience a medical emergency and how did you approach it? I'll tell you one. So,
One,
who do we have? Oh, one.
Abel.
Oh, yeah, Abel, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had one. It was Candice. I think it was like 2 days ago. So we were trying to, serve her snacks at 6 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
And she was not responding at all. And usually she's writing on her books and everything on those time, but she was not responding, and we're trying to wake her up. So you know, like this is not normal, and that's why we called 911 as soon as possible.
Okay. Good. That's a good one. Yeah. So that's very important. Like we know for a fact that Candice is always someone who would respond, who would smile
Yeah,
whenever you talk to her. So definitely there's a change with her physical condition if she will not respond. And you did the right thing by calling 911 paramedics. Who else has examples?
In Vista, we have Bonnie, who would have seizure attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, we would find her on the floor. And what I did was to put her on her side to prevent her from choking from her saliva or whatever she must have eaten at the time, and then call 911 right away.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, especially for seizure. So did you just find her on the floor shaking or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So sometimes or oftentimes emergencies can, it's unexpected. Oftentimes it's unwitnessed. Let's say a fall incident, and then someone hit their head. So we want to make sure that we call 911 because we want to avoid, those things that can lead to fatal results like death if there's a internal bleeding, especially on the brain,
Memory.
right? So it's very important to send them to the hospital so they can be checked.
Just another thing to note there too is that we need to be aware of which patients have a guardian. I know Vista, you guys have an 81st. We don't have for some reason we don't have as many down here, but we do have a couple like VNA and Carlene. Is that it now? Just
Yeah.
those two?
Renee, Carlene,
And Daryl. So if someone has a guardian, that means they can't give consent to go to the hospital or not go to the hospital. Which if it's like an emergency, like they come out and somebody's having a heart attack, they're gonna take them. Like they're gonna worry about calling the guardian later. But like if they come out and somebody's like, they check them out and they're like, you should really go to the hospital, and the patient's like, no, I don't think so. if they have a guardian, they can't really give that consent. We need to call the guardian there, and the EMS people will talk to the guardian, you know. And like we've had it with VNA a couple times, like they come out because VNAs have low blood sugar, and they come out and VNA doesn't want to go to the hospital, and so they call the guardian, and the guardian will listen, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, okay, VNA doesn't want to go, she seems okay, we talked to the EMS, we're okay with her staying, but we need to know who has a guardian because they have to give the consent for somebody to refuse going to the hospital. And then the same, like kind of on the other way, if a patient calls, if we call 911 and we're like, it's not clearly a heart attack. The EMS are saying they could probably stay in the home, but the patient really wants to go to the hospital. We need to notify the guardian, and the guardian will let us know what to do. And for the people who are like through Maricopa County Public Fiduciary, like a court-appointed guardian, there's always a guardian of the day. So if you can't get a hold of Amanda or Lydia or whoever, Sienna's another one that now has a guardian. If you can't get a hold of that specific guardian, there's a guardian of the day. So somebody who's just the guardian for the day, and you can call in and they can, talk you through the situation, provide consent or not consent. So you just need to know who has a guardian, because those people, when you call 911, we need to make sure the guardian's involved. And then the other thing I wanted to note is you need to know which patients are a DNR in a full code. I don't know how many you guys have up there. I think you guys have at least one that's a DNR, but I don't think we have any anymore that are DNRs. Yeah, it was just Anthony. So, I mean, that's just, you shouldn't have many of them, so you should know them on your head who's a DNR. Because if somebody has a heart attack, like, you need to know, am I performing CPR? Am I not? On the off chance that you don't know, go check their binder or wherever. I don't know where you guys put it. Down at Chandler, every hard chart, it's in their cloud care, but it's also their hard chart. They'll have a bright orange sticker, a bright orange file that says they are a DNR. So that means you do not call 911, but you're not going to perform CPR on them. And that's something that EMS will want to know as well.
I have a question about the guardian.
Yeah.
So do we call the guardian right after we call the 911, or how's that works?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Usually I wait because they'll want to talk to the paramedics.
Right. Okay.
Once the paramedics arrive, I mean, if it's like a true medical emergency, like someone's having a heart attack, they just want the face sheet and the med list, and they're probably gonna zip out of here. I would say it to them,
Okay.
hey, they have a guardian, they're gonna call them on the way because they don't have time to sit there and call. But if it's something where they're gonna be sitting, evaluating the patient for a little bit, then I call the guardian, just have them on the phone and let them talk to the paramedics.
Okay.
Yeah, because the guardian needs to be involved in that conversation. And that's another good point too, is that we should make sure that when EMS shows up, I always have the face sheet and the med list ready. And
Med list.
Yeah, I know now at Vista and 81st, you guys have 2 additional forms that you need.
Yeah,
You're
HIPAA.
one out.
Really.
Yeah. So just make sure you have those paperwork ready so that when they show up, you can just hand it off to them. And I just kind of like hang out there in the background if they have any questions and let them do their thing. And they'll let you know what they need. But always, yeah, make sure that they're aware that patient has a guardian, because they'll need to make sure that they contact them.
Okay.
Yep. And just to add on that, oftentimes the paramedics would always know or they would ask if they have a guardian who makes medical decisions. So
Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah.
so normally while they're evaluating the patient, they would give them a call or probably ask the staff. Okay, that's a good question. What else? All right, so there you go. These are the things that we need: the face sheet, ID, insurance. We can advise which hospital we want to send them. Normally, rule of thumb, we wanna send them to the nearest hospital, right? But sometimes they would prefer where, so it should be indicated in our records. Yep, call the guardian for consent and approval. Then afterwards, we document everything. We notify providers, the family, guardian, and we send incident reports. And those forms that you're talking about is required by the state. So in cloud care, I just want to make sure that everyone knows how to print the medication list. because this is just the thing that we need to provide. So at least they have the current medication when we will send them to the hospital. So when you log in, this is how it will look like, right? So on the left panel, you just have to click their name and then click person overview. Then it will show up this panel at the bottom. Then you'll just have to click this medication TAR FYI list on the left side. That will show you their current medication list. Then on the right side, there's a print button. You'll just have to press this button, then it should be connected on our local printer. That's it. What else? Have anything else to add?
Okay, look, I put some notes. I think you covered. Yeah. Candace has questions.
Candice has a question. She's back. She's really responsive now. And
So I know we've at Chandler we've used mobile urgent care a lot, and unfortunately they don't service our area anymore. So we're looking for another option. But I know like in the past, like if we saw someone hit their head and we're like, it doesn't look that serious, like it's not bleeding. We saw the head injury, still needs to be checked out, but they don't need to go 911 because if they don't need 911, we don't want to tie up those services. But we still need to be checked out. So we were using mobile urgent care a lot, but unfortunately they don't service Chandler. They're still in business, and I think they still do Mesa. I'd have to look.
I use here AMR.
That's for the
non-transport.
the transport, right?
Yeah,
Do you guys use mobile urgent care at all? Like the urgent care that comes to the house?
not really.
Okay. That's what we used to use a lot down here, but I just want to let you guys know they're not in service. We're looking for somebody else, but for now, if something like that happens where it's like, okay, they really don't need to go 911, but we should get them checked out. We can still use, like what Debbie was saying, the AMR, which is non-emergent transport. I think the numbers are posted everywhere. We can probably send it out in text, but that's for things like, yeah, they should be evaluated at the ER, but they don't need to go 911. So we call them, and they usually honestly are here in like 20, 30 minutes, and we'll take them to the hospital for us. So that's always a good option.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What if the patient said she doesn't want to,
Go.
check out? Yeah, she doesn't want to go.
So we're still always going to have them evaluated. If they hit their head, like,
Okay.
you don't want that on you, about like where they hit their head and they're like, okay, they don't want to go. And then later that day, we find out they're having internal bleeding, and
Right.
Abel didn't do anything. So just, if I was you in that situation, I'm like, I don't want that on me. I'm going to call someone to look at it. So call 911. If they come out, we have this with John a lot, where John never wants to go to the hospital. And it's fine. Like, we document it. We say they came out. Usually they say John's fine. But, if they come out and say, John, you should really go. I think Cyrus has had this before, where they said we should go and John didn't want to go.
Yep.
And we really tried to talk to him. We even called his parents. But John's his own person. Like, he's one of those situations where he doesn't have a guardian. So he doesn't want to go. He doesn't have to go. We just want to make sure somebody else comes and looks at him, and then we document that response.
Yes,
Got it.
that's right. So it's very important to document that the resident refused to go after he was checked. And then another thing that we do is we monitor the resident for the next 24 to 48 hours by checking their vitals and observing if there's any, changes with their physical or mental behavior. So we have to take note of those. What else? Do you have any other questions or anything that you would like to share?
Well, a good example too is the situation that I had where I did do an incident report where they refused to go, and I documented everything and I let you know. But then when I left, they ended up wanting to go to the hospital.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I think that was
That's
Delaney.
that's a situation that should be highlighted in training as well, because it's pretty much like our word against theirs, you know. But with documentation, you know, it's a good example to have a paper trail. And, you know, because when I told her, you know, like, let's go to a hospital, she was just like, no, I don't want to go. I didn't hurt myself. And then I was like, okay. And I asked again. She was like, no, I don't want to go. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go do your incident report. I did the incident report. I let you know. And then when I left, she told everybody that she wanted to go to the hospital.
All right, that's a good point. Definitely that's why it's very important to document everything. In some cases, we have some residents, I don't know, for some reason, who would always wanted to be sent out. I don't know if you experienced this. So, normally what I would do is I would check their vitals, let them know, hey, these are your vitals. It looks everything's normal. So sometimes we can explain to them that I don't see a reason why you need to go to the hospital. So oftentimes they can be convinced, but then again, we need to make sure we still observe them, because who knows if they're telling us the truth that they need to go because of something that they're feeling that needs emergency assistance. So just, keep that in mind. That's why it's very important for us to really know our residents. Okay? Anything else, guys? We have 8 more minutes.
I'm gonna do roll call real quick. Let me know if there's somebody who's here whose name I don't say, because I want to make sure you're on this list so I can do my gift card drawing. Zyra, Cyrus, Vanjie, Cressy, Debbie, Marjorie, Ashley, Oceana, Abel. Anybody else here whose name I didn't say?
Mariella.
Mariella.
I think Eduardo is there, right?
Just do your password. Just do your password.
Yeah, Eduardo.
Go. Is his brother?
Francesca's here.
Francesca there.
Hey.
Hmm.
Eduardo too. I guess he's connected.
I saw his name on there. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure everybody got on my list.
We good? One last example is, let's say you have a resident that is having some behavior that's uncontrollable and you think is a threat to your safety and to other residents. Then, we can also call 911 or crisis. But I would say just 911, because sometimes they would send police if restraint is needed. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining the training today. Hope all of you are doing a wonderful day today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
You.
Cyrus. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I should put on my list.
She went to question.
What's your question?